He alien's razor-sharp talon pressed against my jugular, its breath a hot, metallic gale that reeked of rust and forgotten stars. "You shave," it growled in a voice that slithered through my translator implant like venom, "and I'll kill you." I dangled over the abyss, my feet kicking uselessly against the slick walls of the pit, the roar of the crowd above echoing like thunder in a bottle. My name was Dr. Elias Thorne, once a celebrated xenobiologist from Earth, now just a human dragged down into hell. But that was only the beginning. The drop seemed endless, a yawning maw of darkness that swallowed light and hope alike. My suit's emergency lights flickered on, casting erratic shadows on the jagged rocks rushing past. I twisted in the grip of the Zorth guard, its scales glinting like polished obsidian under the dim glow. Why me? Why this ritual? The questions burned in my mind as gravity claimed me, pulling me deeper into the underbelly of Zorth Prime. The planet's core hummed with an unnatural energy, a pulse that vibrated through my bones, whispering secrets I wasn't meant to hear. What horrors waited below? I had no idea. None of us were prepared for the truth. I hit the bottom hard, the impact jarring every nerve in my body. Pain exploded in my shoulder, but I rolled instinctively, years of field training kicking in. The pit was a cavernous arena, walls etched with bioluminescent fungi that painted the air in eerie blues and greens. Above, the Zorith spectators leaned over the edge, their elongated faces twisted in anticipation, antennae quivering like live wires. The guard released me with a disdainful shove, its compound eyes reflecting my disheveled form. "Human," it hissed, "you have been chosen. Survive the trial of the blade, or become fertilizer for our gardens." The crowd's cheers drowned out my protests. But what was the trial? And why the warning about shaving? I staggered to my feet, scanning the dim expanse. The floor was littered with bones, humanoid, alien, some still clinging to scraps of flesh. A chill ran down my spine. This wasn't just a pit, it was a graveyard. In the center stood a pedestal, atop it a gleaming instrument that looked suspiciously like a razor, but forged from some iridescent metal that shifted colors like oil on water. My heart pounded. Shaving? In this context, it didn't make sense. Back on Earth, I'd studied the Zorith from afar, fierce warriors with a culture built around honor and unbreakable vows. Their hair, thick, fibrous tendrils that grew from their scalps, were symbols of their life force, connected directly to their neural networks. To shave one was to sever a soul. But for a human, what did it mean for me? A low rumble shook the cavern as a hidden door ground open. From the shadows emerged another figure. A Zorith elder, its tendrils long and braided with glowing crystals, marking it as a high priest. Elias Thorne, it intoned, its voice booming through hidden speakers. "You intruded upon our sacred world. Now, you face judgment." The crowd hushed. I backed away, my mind racing. My ship had crashed here weeks ago during a routine survey mission. I'd thought Zorith Prime uninhabited, a dead rock orbiting a dying star. How wrong I was. The elder approached, holding out the razor. "Take it, shave the mark of submission upon your flesh, and you may live as our servant. Refuse, and the beasts will feast." Beasts? What beasts? The question hung in the air like a noose. I glanced at the razor, its edge humming with energy. Shaving my beard, my scruffy, unkempt growth from months in space, seemed trivial, but the elders' eyes burned with fanaticism. To them, it was sacrilege for an outsider to wield the blade, yet they demanded it as humiliation. My fingers trembled as I reached for it. "Why this?" I whispered. The elders' antennae twitched. "Because your kind shaves without thought, severing connections to the divine. Prove your worth by submitting." But as my hand closed around the handle, a surge of defiance welled up. I wouldn't bow. Not yet. What I did next would change everything. The ground trembled again, and from the walls, slits opened, releasing a horde of skittering creatures. Zorith hounds, bioengineered predators with razor teeth and tendrils that mimicked their masters. They circled me, snarling, their eyes glowing with hunger. The crowd erupted in cheers. This was the trial. Survive the beasts without the blade, or use it and invite death from above. The elder's warning echoed, "You shave and I'll kill you." It wasn't just a threat, it was a promise. If I used the razor on myself or anything else, the priest would end me personally. But how to fight without it? I dodged the first hound's lunge, its claws raking the air inches from my face. Adrenaline surged. Think, Elias. You're a scientist, not a warrior. But science was my weapon. I spotted a cluster of the bioluminescent fungi on the wall. Recalling my studies, they released spores that could induce paralysis in Zorith biology. If I could weaponize that, I sprinted toward the wall, a hound snapping at my heels. The razor in my hand vibrated, tempting. No, not yet. I smashed my fist into the fungi, releasing a cloud of spores. The nearest hound inhaled them and staggered, its tendrils wilting. The crowd gasped. Blasphemy, the elder roared. But I wasn't done. I grabbed a bone from the floor, a femur, sharp at one end, and stabbed at another beast. Blood sprayed, hot and viscous. The fight was on. But that was only the beginning of the nightmare. As the spores spread, more hounds faltered, but the elder signaled, and reinforcements poured in. I was outnumbered, my breaths coming in ragged gasps. Sweat stung my eyes. Why had my ship crashed? It wasn't an accident. Scans showed electromagnetic interference from the planet's core. The Zorith had pulled me here. For what? A test? A sacrifice? I parried a claw with the bone, but it shattered, leaving me defenseless. The razor called to me. One shave, one submission, and this ends. But submission meant slavery, probing my mind for Earth secrets. I couldn't. With a yell, I lunged at a hound, using the razor not to shave, but to slash its tendril. The creature howled, collapsing as if its soul was ripped out. The crowd fell silent. I'd done the unthinkable, used their sacred blade as a weapon. The elder's fury was palpable. You dare? What came next would shatter worlds. Guards descended on ropes, hauling me up from the pit amid boos and hisses. My body ached, bruises blooming like dark flowers. The elder waited above, its tendrils quivering with rage. You have defiled the blade, it said, voice low and deadly. But you survived. The gods spare you, for now. They dragged me through twisting corridors of the Zorith citadel, walls pulsing with organic tech, veins of light that carried data like blood. I glimpsed chambers where Zorith young were indoctrinated, their tendrils groomed with reverence. Shaving was more than taboo, it was extinction. Sever a tendril, and the host lost memories, emotions, identity. I'd just killed a part of that hound's essence. Guilt gnawed at me, but survival trumped morality. Or did it? They threw me into a cell, a spherical room with gravity fields that kept me floating in the center, unable to touch walls or floor. Hours passed, or days. Time blurred in the dim light. My beard itched, a reminder of the choice I hadn't made. Inner thoughts swirled. What if I shaved now? Would they kill me or honor the submission? No, it was a trap. The Zorith were known for psychological warfare, breaking minds before bodies. I closed my eyes, remembering Earth, blue skies, my lab in New Angeles, my daughter Lila waving goodbye before the mission. Come back with stories, Dad, she'd said. Stories. If only she knew. A hum interrupted my reverie. The elder appeared on a holographic screen. Human, you intrigue us. Your defiance, it echoes our ancient prophecies. A stranger who wields the blade without shaving shall unveil the hidden truth. Prophecy? My pulse quickened. Was this why they crashed my ship? The screen flickered, revealing images of Zorith history. Wars with other species, a great cataclysm that nearly wiped them out. Their tendrils, it explained, were not natural but engineered symbionts from a long-lost ally race. To shave one was to betray that alliance, inviting cosmic retribution. But the prophecy spoke of a hairless one who would shave the forbidden and save them all. Hairless? Humans had hair, but compared to Zorith, we were bald. Hope flickered. Maybe I could use this. Tell me more, I demanded. The elder hesitated. You must prove worthy. Tomorrow, the next trial. The screen vanished, leaving me in darkness. What hidden truth? The question burned, pulling me deeper into their web. Morning came with a jolt, gravity released, dumping me onto the floor. Guards escorted me to a grand hall, where the Zorith Council assembled, their tendrils adorned with jewels. The elder, now called High Seer Vorak, presided. Elias Thorn, you face the trial of revelation. Enter the sanctum and confront the oracle. The sanctum was a chamber deep in the citadel, guarded by energy fields. As I stepped inside, the air thickened, charged with ions. In the center floated the oracle, a massive, pulsating mass of tendrils, the collective mind of ancient Zorith elders preserved in stasis. It spoke directly to my thoughts. Human, you seek truth. But truth cuts deeper than any blade. Images flooded my mind. Zorith Prime dying, its core unstable from overmining. They needed Earth's technology to stabilize it. My crash was no accident. They lured me to extract knowledge. Rage boiled. You kidnapped me for this? The oracle's voice echoed. Not kidnap. Invite. But you resist. It showed me visions of Earth invaded if I refused, fleets descending, humans enslaved. The moral dilemma hit like a hammer. Help them and betray humanity, or refuse and doom both worlds. Zorith Prime's instability could trigger a supernova, wiping out nearby systems, including Sol. Personal stakes surged. Lila, alone if Earth fell. I paced the sanctum, the razor still in my possession, confiscated but returned as part of the trial. What must I do? Shave the forbidden. Sever the lie. What lie? The oracle pulsed, revealing. Vorak had hidden the truth from his people. The cataclysm was caused by his ancestors' experiments, not enemies. To reveal it, I had to shave the oracle's central tendril, exposing the memories. Terror gripped me. Shave the oracle? It would kill it or unleash chaos. Vorak's warning rang. You shave and I'll kill you. He knew. He feared this. But if I didn't, worlds died. Inner conflict tore at me, scientist versus survivor, father versus hero. I raised the blade, hand shaking. The oracle urged, do it, be the unthinkable. With a cry, I slashed. The tendril severed, sparks flying. Memories exploded outward, broadcasting to every Zorith mind. Screams filled the citadel. Betrayal revealed. But that was only the beginning of the uprising. Chaos erupted. Zorith turned on Vorak, their tendrils lashing in fury. Guards stormed the sanctum. But the oracle's dying pulse disabled the fields. I fled, razor in hand, through corridors alive with rebellion. Alarms wailed, lights flickering. A young Zorith, its tendrils short and unadorned, perhaps an outcast, blocked my path. Human, you did it. The truth, it's free. Its name was Lyra, a dissident who doubted Vorak. Come, I'll help you escape. Why? Trust it. But options were slim. We dodged patrols, Lyra's knowledge of hidden passages, saving us. As we ran, it shared. Zorith society was built on lies, the symbionts controlling emotions to maintain order. Shaving freed the mind but risked madness. My act had sparked a revolution. We reached the surface, Zorith Prime's twin suns blazing overhead. The landscape was barren, craters from ancient wars pockmarking the red soil. My ship lay in a guarded hangar, salvaged but intact. Fix it, Lyra urged, fending off pursuers with energy blasts from a stolen weapon. I dove into the cockpit, fingers flying over controls. Engines hummed to life. But Vorak appeared, wounded but alive, his tendrils half-shorn from the backlash. You shave the oracle. The gods will curse us. He lunged, talons extended. Lyra intercepted, their bodies colliding in a tangle of scales and fury. Go, human. Save your world, and ours. I hesitated, guilt heavy. Lyra was sacrificing for me. But the core's instability, sensors showed it worsening. The oracle's memories included a fix, a quantum stabilizer for my ship's drive. I could upload the schematics before leaving. Moral dilemma, again, help the oppressors? But not all Zorith were evil, Lyra proved that. I transmitted the data to the Citadel's network, hoping the rebels would use it wisely. Vorik overpowered Lyra, his claw at its throat. You shave our future, human. No, I'd shave the lies. I fired the ship's thrusters, blasting him back. Lyra scrambled aboard. Together, it said, escape was near. But what awaited in the stars? The ship rocketed skyward, breaking atmosphere amid anti-air fire. Zorith fighters pursued, sleek vessels like predatory birds. Lyra manned the defenses, its tendrils interfacing with the console via some biotech link. They won't let us go easily. Explosions rocked us, shield straining. I weaved through asteroid fields, heart in my throat. Memories of Lila fueled me, her laugh, her curiosity about aliens. If I died, she'd never know. A hit jarred us, systems failing. Elias, Lyra gasped, if we fall, shave me. What? My tendrils hold the Oracle's last memories. Sever them to broadcast the full truth. Horror struck. The unthinkable again. May my ally? But it nodded. Human emotion versus alien logic. Choose. Tears blurred my vision. The razor, still with me, felt heavy. Fighters closed in. No choice. With a sob, I shaved Lyra's tendrils, careful cuts releasing data bursts. The pursuers faltered, minds flooded with revelations. Vorik's regime crumbled in real time. Lyra slumped, alive but changed, freer, it claimed. Thank you. We broke free, hyperspace engulfing us. Earth loomed in the NAV charts. But the journey home was fraught. What I saw next changed everything.